Hello, my name is Seth Tui, and in this video, I will be discussing the topic of the Civil Rights Movement in the 1960s for my English 102 video essay. As we can see, the movement was clearly a success, but today I will teach you about why it was successful, as well as some of the key events that led to such a dramatic change in the American zeitgeist of the time. The first major event of the Civil Rights Movement came in 1954 when the Supreme Court case of Brown v. Board of Education outlawed racial discrimination in public schools. This case began in 1951 when the public school system of Topeka, Kansas refused to enroll the daughter of Oliver Brown in the school closest to them, instead deciding that she had to ride the bus to a segregated school farther away. The Browns, and many other families facing similar issues, filed a class action lawsuit against the Board of Education, claiming that their decision was unconstitutional. The District Court of Kansas ruled against the Browns, citing the separate but equal doctrine. The Browns then appealed the ruling directly to the Supreme Court with representation from NAACP Chief Counsel Thurgood Marshall. In May 1954, a unanimous decision was reached in favor of the Browns, stating that segregated schooling is inherently unequal and therefore violates the 14th Amendment. Decades prior to the 1960s, other than the victory for the Browns in Brown v. Board, not much had happened for civil rights. However, tensions were slowly and steadily rising as black citizens began to grow tired of the discrimination they had to face on a daily basis. As African Americans grew tired of the inequality they endured, racial violence grew as a result of racist whites beginning to see that they were losing control of their black counterparts. The tensions between white and black Americans ultimately came to a head when young Emmett Till was brutally murdered after offending a white woman. In 1955, Till was on a summer vacation to visit family near Money, Mississippi, when he entered a local grocery store and engaged in conversation with a married white woman. What happened in the store remains unknown. However, it is clear that he violated the unwritten code of black and white interaction in the Jim Crow era South. At the age of only 14, Till was kidnapped, beaten, mutilated, shot in the head, and thrown into the Tallahatchie River in an act of retaliation from the woman's husband and his brother. Till's mutilated body was recovered from the river and transported back to Chicago. This image shows Till's mother and her fiancé looking over his body at the morgue before the funeral. She insisted that the funeral be open casket and public, as she believed it was important for everyone to see what had happened to her boy in one of the most brutal and disgusting acts of violence in American history. The photo was taken by David Jackson and was later featured in Jet magazine as well as the Chicago Defender for everyone to see. The civil rights movement as a whole was extremely complicated and required the combined efforts of millions of people to succeed. However, in the end, the main reason for the success of the movement was the relentless efforts of the African American community. Their efforts were fueled by them growing tired of the discrimination they faced for so long. Although their efforts were fierce, they couldn't do it alone. Events like the victory of Brown v. Board and events of racial violence like the murder of Emmett Till finally opened people's eyes to the issue of inequality in America. Citizens that were blind to the inequality finally began to support the movement after seeing what the black community was being put through.